Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you an OP Beast Claws build guide in Elden Ring. So this build is quite powerful because you can do attacks that'll take enemies out relatively quickly here. That is without any of our buffs applied, but we're going to be stacking up damage very quickly with this build, so I'll be taking you through the full level 150 guide here. If you're a higher level, I'll show you where to put your stats at as well, and if you're a lower level, where to put them too. So with this build, we want to have at least 50 vigor for survivability, 20 mind, 32 endurance, so we can have our poise at least 56 with a medium roll. I went with 16 strength and then 11 dexterity, but we got a +5 from Millicent's prosthesis for a little bit extra damage, 15 faith for flame grant me strength, and 75 arcane so that we can deal a ton of damage with the occult scaling. You can also go with the bleed scaling. It'll do 115 bleed buildup per attack there, where the occult we get more physical scaling there at 264 extra damage instead of like 100 and some, but 84 blood loss buildup, which is still extremely good. I also went with a dragon communion seal, and it's best to put on the white mask here for increased damage after triggering bleed, and then also going with the Lord of Blood's exaltation for a 30% increase of damage. Rotten Wing Sword Insignia will give you an increase to your overall damage. And then if you can get Millicent's prosthesis as well, these two pair together really well. You can also go with a few of these other ones, like the Claw Talisman, which is going to give you an increase to your jump attack damage, and also the charge attack Axe Talisman, because the charge attack on this is really good. But I'll show you the damage potential if we use both of these. So we want to set up with our Flame Grant Me Strength first, and then we can also go with Swarm of Flies here, which is going to trigger blood loss buildup, and then you can trigger your extra damage boost from that. So then once you get that off, you're just going to run into combat. I like to use the charge attack from distance because it hits so far away, but typically you want to be going with the quick attacks because they're going to deal the most amount of damage alongside the Millicent's prosthesis and then also your Wing Sword Insignia. But the nice part about the quick attack is just R1 is you move around while doing it, and it gives you an extra bit of survivability. And if you pair that well with your charge attack there, you can jump at the enemy and get them at a spot where they might not be anticipating it. The Savage Claws attack here, which I just showed off, is really nice. So this gives you a really quick attack you can get off. There's also another one that's similar to this, but it doesn't do as many attacks as that. However, it doesn't use a lot of FP. This one uses 10, the other one uses 6, but you can see there, you can take out enemies by using that. So it's really good. Savage Claws on the Beast Claws, really nice for stacking up bleed on bosses as well. So I'll also show you what the other Ash of War looks like alongside the bleed scaling on the weapon, because that can be a nice combination as well. The Beast Claws have a very unique moveset to them, and I think that's what makes them stand out. They're very similar to the other claws that have been in Souls games, but so yeah, there's Savage Claws and Raging Beast. We're going to go with the bleed scaling here. You can go Frostbite to inflict some frost buildup as well, but you'd probably be better off building a different way if that was the case. However, this weapon also works well in the Keen scaling, so you can go that route if you'd like, because you can build around dexterity, and it would be pretty similar to this, but the bleed scaling is really nice on this alongside the occult. So setting up with that is kind of the nice way of going about it. So that's our R1 attack, and then I'll use the Ash of War in 1 second here. So here is the Ash of War Raging Beast. It's good for mobility. That's, I guess, the biggest thing about it. Whoa, I'm getting shredded there. But once you get going with your damage, you're going to hit really hard. So that's typically what you want to get going. Multiple damage to get your talisman going off, and then also going with the bleed to be able to trigger your damage. Now, if you look to the left-hand side, right underneath the endurance bar, you're going to see your stamina, and then also see the sword insignia showing that you got the damage buff. It does go away 1 stack every 1.5 seconds, and then the blood loss build-up, we're also getting that extra damage because we're continuing to attack. So yeah, you're going to see some pretty big numbers with this, but as long as you keep triggering bleed, which isn't going to be much of a challenge against some bosses, yeah, you'll be good. So the Beast Claws are very powerful in Elden Ring, and I just want to cover that build there. And if you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.